I can't hear you. Hello and welcome to People Making Statements, the once a month show that sometimes misses a month and you kind of freak out, but don't worry, it's back the next month. Brought to you out of beautiful Warren County, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, national leader in methamphetamine production, where we're currently in storm mode. Forecast for central and western parts of the United States is high temperatures. Yes, by the way, this is the exact same one I used last time because ain't shit changed.
Nope. Not until at least Sunday.
High temperatures and high humidity, probably some fire. It's everywhere in the West. Australia's probably on fire again, too. The UK's on fire.
I was going to say Europe. Europe is on fire.
People Making Statements is a show about nothing and everything, brought to you by Lockhart, Brow, and myself, Spur. People Making Statements is not sponsored by anyone currently, but I do have some fistful of bourbon, mix. It's a bourbon blend with me. It's pretty good. I'm not going to complain. Maker's Mark 46, always a good one.
Sponsor us, Maker's Mark. Sponsor us. I drink you.
Or
Lockhart here. I don't
company.
Fuck that. Powerade. Does body good. Powerade.
Powerade.
All right, go watch Idiocracy and then tell me how good Powerade is.
Yeah. Well, watch your sister first.
That's what the plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
But it does. It got what the plants need.
It's got what the plants need. Oh, what is going on here? What is going on? Oh, yeah, of course.
Dave's not here.
This show can contain adult material which may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
If you couldn't figure that out by the first 25 seconds of the show.
Hey,
so
this time I didn't start out cussing and talking about hoary shit.
That's true.
Yet, so
That's true.
We made it a little further along before I said fuck shit.
Discord changed something, so things seem a little off here, by the way. Things are a little different than last time. I didn't have time to completely fix it. I'll do that later.
He's lazy.
Well, no, I just didn't have time. I didn't get both of you in here until...
He has a small child. He's allowed to be lazy, you bastards.
Yeah. So yeah. That's where we're at right now.
Oh, wow. What voice is that?
One I just made up.
Well, no, that kind of sounded like what the hell's his name from Family Guy? The creepy guy that wants to have sex with Chris. Hubert. That sounded like Hubert.
That guy?
Yep, him. Yep. That guy.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna try not to drive anybody crazy with soundboard today.
Too late.
Right. Already started.
But we are going to get a chance to laugh at Senator Hawley. Did you guys see that yet?
Which one?
Oh, just during the
Are you talking about during the January 6th committee?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Makes you proud to be a Missourian,
somebody get
doesn't it?
for that?
As of right now, the January 6th committee has not recommended charges against anybody.
But
they haven't done their final meeting, public meeting.
Yeah.
Is that what it looks
this
like?
is what we've got. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was him walking into the Capitol building on January 6th.
And that's him leaving.
I'm running with my shit.
And highly supportive.
Yeah. There are a couple of senators that potentially will get in a crap storm of trouble because they actually showed and gave tours to individuals that were planning the January 6th insurrection. And you can see them in videos, security camera videos, taking pictures of things that normal tourists wouldn't take pictures of, like the security areas, metal detectors, and routes and stuff like that. Yeah, Cite my sources, January 6th committee.
Where'd you hear that from? Did you watch that?
I didn't hear it. I saw that on the January 6th public meeting hearing committee, or whatever they're calling themselves, that have been showing on regular TV. They've had a few episodes or a few viewings The most recent one was last night or the night before. I don't remember exactly when, but it was very recently. And the last one, they were really going hard into Trump, is what their big thing was going about.
Yeah, here, let me jump back to this.
Crazy.
I really want to see if we captured the right
Josh
thing.
Hawley also had to flee. Earlier that afternoon, before the joint session started, he walked across the east front of the Capitol.
It's the fact that he ran.
It's the fact
that he ran.
He raised his fist in
just
solidarity
check
with
this
the
out.
protesters already amassing at the security gates.
Go away, ads.
We spoke with a Capitol police officer who was out there at the time. She told us that Senator Hawley's gesture riled up the crowd. Later that day, Senator Hawley fled after those protesters he helped to rile up stormed the Capitol. See for yourself.
Running like a bitch.
Well, you see, the downside is these videos do not show the laughter of everybody in there.
True.
Oh, this. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Do I'm just trying to find this video where there's you just hear everybody just start cracking up as they watch him run away. But alas, it's there. I'm not going to take the time to go find it now. I thought I had it that.
I thought you were talking about one of the mini ad campaigns that have been seen about the Missouri Senate race or whatever.
Oh, are we talking about Greitens?
Greitens and the other idiot, whatever the hell his name is, the guy that was the
oh yeah
the
no
state
this has
attorney.
got to be one of the dumbest fucking things I've seen. Let's go ahead and take a look, and I'll let you
Yep.
know Lockhart. I want talk it out during this one. Talk it out.
I'm Eric Greitens, Navy SEAL, and today we're
What
going
the
Rhino.
fuck that is?
The Rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the.
What the hell is he doing with the? This house is he breaking in. What? Really?
They're breaking into a house of a
Join the
rhino,
MAGA crew.
also
Get
known
a
as a
rhino hunting
Republican.
permit. There's
in
no
name
bagging limit,
only.
no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Oh my motherfucking god!
Okay. Let's review. Now this is actually what this means. RINO, Republican in name only. This is how the Republicans, certain Republicans, are dividing themselves from everybody. If you do not agree with them exactly, you are a rhino. You are Republican name only because you don't think what they do. Therefore, you're not really a Republican to them. And hunting.
Shit.
Let's take a look. Hunting permit. I mean, is it just me, or does it look like he's endorsing violence?
By the
Yeah.
cowardice.
Also, look at that right there. Look at that. Did you see that?
The fact that he popped the door open without
There is no damage to the door. Look, they're gonna hit and no damage.
The door was cracked. And I doubt you.
Oh,
heard
and
this earlier,
may I add, whenever the second they threw that flashbang out, there goes a tax stamp, $200 tax stamp on that motherfucker.
I don't understand what house did he do this at? Well, why did he? Is that the same motherfucker that got in trouble for the sex scandal earlier?
Yes.
No,
yes,
this is
yes.
well.
No, that was. We can consider that a sex scandal. What it was is he had.
Yeah, it
an
is.
affair.
It is him.
He had an affair with his hairdresser. And
I thought it was because he got out of office because of him abusing his wife and child.
No, that's the
That's
latest.
what's
on
happening
him.
now.
That's the latest.
Yeah, that's what's
So
happening
originally-
now. That's what I'm hearing about.
Yeah. Originally, I'm not going to state any names, which I do know, but the individual, he was outed by somebody with some notoriety, because it was the individual's
like
wife.
what's going on with Ricky Martin.
I have no idea what's going on with Ricky Martin. We may have to discuss that later.
Ricky Martin is being accused of sexual abuse against his nephew.
Oh wow. Okay. No, that's not at all. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to throw that on him. What I will say is he had an affair with his hairdresser. He then held basically so she wouldn't talk. Threatened her with pictures he had of her that he'd claimed he'd release, all sexual in nature. So kind of blackmail-ish, and the thing is, this is a guy
He was the governor, right?
Yes, he was the governor. He prided himself. He ran on family values. So that's kind of my whole part to that. Like okay, I don't give a shit if you live your life, whatever. But if you're gonna claim family values and then be banging your hairdresser, especially at a time right now with Roe Wade being overturned, and so many of the Republican Party suddenly wanting to clamp down on shit, and then you've got family values and that happening, and just everything that comes with it. Like, that is a whole fucking road I'm not going to go down right now. But I mean, if you run yourself on those values, and then of course if you if you blackmail someone, no, you don't need to be in office. So it's best for him to step down. And that's what he did.
Yeah, and the guy that he's running against for the Republican primary for the Senate race in Missouri.
Who is he running against?
He's the state attorney. The guy who decided to sue schools and school districts for having
for
mask mandates.
Yeah,
and was told by the Republican Party and the governor to fucking stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand why he's really going there with the bang.
Lockhart, I don't know if you heard me. What he was hunting there in that video was rhinos, also known as Republicans in name only.
Yeah, Spur explained that. Yeah,
okay, sorry. I kind of lost discourse for a second there.
Yeah, he explained that. It's that's really fucked up too. And then it's hunting season. Really, what is he trying to really say there? That he's gonna kill those who are just.
He's going after the Trump Republican base. That's what he wants, because they're vocal, and he thinks that he'll win the race, all the races, including getting into the Senate, by running on that platform. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he should, if he wins the Republican primary, I believe he's going against
have you
Democratic
seen
Cory Bush.
Have you seen the whole loadout of Republican senators running? Robert Allen, Russell Peeler, I can't fucking pronounce his name. Dennis Lee Chilton, C.W. Gardner. At least he's wearing a hard hat and a safety vest. Makes him look like a construction worker.
Oh, that guy.
Eric Reichens. Is he? Okay, I'm going to check that out. Eric Reichens.
That
Vicky
guy is
Hartzler,
hilarious.
Joyner, Lewis, Long, Leon, McCloskey. Oh, our fucking favorite McCloskey. I actually did see I was leaving Newtown on Newtown Boulevard over in St. Charles, and there was a Greichen sign that had BLM spray painted across it. Or did I say, I meant McCloskey. There's a McCloskey sign that had BLM spray painted across it. But yeah, McCloskey, McElroy, Mowinski, Olson, Porter, Schatz, Schlepper, Schmidt, Sims, Tunnel, Vaughn, and that's all just Republican.
So the guy that is in the hard hat and the high vis vest, he's hilarious. He is an everyman, is the best way to describe him. He honestly, if I was a Republican trying to decide the primary on this one, I would vote for that motherfucker in a heartbeat, because he's just fucking funny. He's the Missouri Joe Dirt, or
shit.
Not Joe Dirt. What's his name? What's his nuts? Oh my god, the Tiger motherfucker.
Yeah. Man, it's sad to see there's only one person running under the Libertarian Party.
I found this out recently. Speaking of that, my oldest nephew, he's libertarian.
Oh. He's
which
what?
surprised the shit out of me.
How old is he? 16, 17?
17. So
17?
he'll be voting next year.
All right.
Yeah, he surprised the shit out of me with that one. I was kind of like, what the fuck you mean you're libertarian? He goes, yeah, I think the state should have more rights than the federal government. I was like, holy shit. Okay.
Did he make you proud?
Fuck no. He thinks Roe v. Wade being overturned was the right thing. The Missouri banning abortion was the right thing. So no, he did not make me proud.
Yeah, that's actually big
So-
dividing line amongst
you-
libertarians.
Hold on now. Wait. You're against, or you don't like that it was overturned?
No, hell no.
Just kidding.
The reason I'm not for Roe v. Wade being overturned like it was is simply because the states have been so gerrymandered that Republicans control so many fucking like local state governments. It's ridiculous, and they're gonna put the loud minority in charge of everybody. It's ridiculous. The simple fact that there are dumbass white people that think that we are still a majority in this country is fucking hilarious. We're actually considered a minority compared to other ethnicities such as Latinos and black people. We are no longer the majority. We are in the same graphic or demographic, I guess, would be not demographic.
Same demographical size.
Yeah, there we go.
So what do you think is the reason why they even have that? Why do you think that they overturned it?
They overturned it because they put a lot of people that are very religious into the Supreme Court, and they are like, oh, well, the Bible says this way, and it's not, even though Roe v. Wade was more about a person having body autonomy and privacy and right to privacy, that's supposedly not in the Constitution, that a person doesn't have the right to privacy, that they shouldn't be allowed to go and have abortions. So they overturned Roe v. Wade, and they want to overturn legalizing gay marriage and legalizing interracial marriage. They just won't say those words yet because that's the quiet stuff they can't say out loud.
Wait. Did you just say legalize or illegalize? What was it to?
So after Roe v. Wade came out, one of the assenting parties on the Supreme Court said that they would be more than happy to see other cases that included cases that were for legalizing gay marriage and legalizing interracial marriages. So you would not be permitted to, as a black man yourself, would not be permitted to marry a white woman or an Asian woman. You were only allowed to marry another black woman.
Let's go ahead and back that up and say this is Supreme Court cases that protect rights. So that's what we're talking about. The Supreme Court isn't creating these laws. That what they're saying is, the state gets to decide, which it is important to allow states to decide their laws, things like that. But it's the Supreme Court's job to protect rights, to protect equality, private, all these things that you're supposed to have. So we're talking about women's rights here, and we're talking about Roe versus Wade, and what it comes down to is they say it's not our job to protect these rights. It's the state's job to decide what laws they want. But let's take a look at any gun laws. And I'm pretty much anti. Hold on. Let's before we. I'm just using this as an example. I am pretty much anti-federal gun laws. So the feds are like, we're going to protect all the gun laws because it's in the Constitution. So they get to read and understand it. But the thing is, they should be protecting other things just as strongly as they're protecting the Second Amendment. So it's that's what their job is, to go ahead and protect those rights so that states can't take those things away. And that's what they've done for firearms rights. In fact, Missouri's actually gone so far overboard that it is right now illegal for local law enforcement to aid feds in any firearm issue.
And when it comes to, in my opinion, the Supreme Court does have a precedent in the Constitution to protect someone's right to their own body by the simple fact that the Constitution says a right to freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I'm sorry, but if you're telling a woman that they can't get a abortion because apparently the fetus is more important than their fucking body, you're denying them the right to freedom and the pursuit of happiness.
So my opinion about the whole thing is this. I think it was overturned mostly because you got women out here not taking accountability for their fucking actions. So what they're doing is you got women out there opening their legs, fucking people, the wrong type of people, realizing, oh, I don't want to have a kid with them, and then run into the clinic just so they can have an abortion on their own free will. Now, my issue with that is that's abuse of power, and yes, you should not be telling a woman what to do with their bodies, but at the same time, how are we going to hold women accountable? So,
well, I
opinion, I feel like, oh, nope, hold up. So my opinion, I think that we should just go ahead and reverse it back, but then we should make DNA tests for the men and for the men mandatory, and the men should have a right to say, no, I don't want to raise that child, whether that woman wants to keep that child or not. So that means no child support for the guy if he decides he doesn't want to be the father of that kid.
I can't agree with that at all. I mean, I at 100% I cannot. It's just
that's fine.
It's not.
That's what I think.
It's not anybody's business what's going to happen. First of all, there's a health issue. There's a mental health. There's a physical health.
Right.
There's all that to the women. You know, and I mean, let's be honest. If there's an accident, shit, there's an accident. If it was just completely ignoring any safety precautions, whatever. I mean, you have to understand, abortions aren't free. They're not comfortable. They're not easy.
I did say that they had to pay for them.
Yeah.
But the issue is there's still women out there that take advantage of it. In fact, I remember my ex.
Yeah, without a doubt.
My ex's sister, that you guys don't know because I barely talk about this ex, but my ex's sister, she would go out and randomly sleep with people, and I remember she would get pregnant. I remember when I was with my ex, she got pregnant at least 3 times, and every time she went to go get an abortion done, and it was crazy. So
because that's her right. I mean, honestly,
and it is, and I mean those things. It kind of amazes me that people forget that the morning after pill exists, which prevents pregnancy. I mean, people think that the morning after pill is an abortion pill. It's not. It's the same. It's birth control. It works the same way birth control works.
Well, there are states that are trying to prevent women from even getting birth control, and there's crazy bastards, and that's the only way to describe them is crazy bastards.
And that's just
preventing women from getting their birth control. I mean, I read a story just yesterday. Actually, or it might have been on TikTok. This woman was attempting to refill her birth control pills that she buys once a month. This woman refused to give them to her and said that she didn't have any more. And the reasoning behind her refusing was because she's extraordinarily religious and believes that a life begins at conception, which is fucking stupid since there is no medical book that says life begins at conception. It says life begins when you're fucking born.
But birth control prevents conception.
It comes down. It comes down to it's a matter of you are hired to do a particular job based on what the job entails you to do, not on your personal beliefs. So if you didn't want to do that job in the first place, you shouldn't have never applied for it and became in that position. So I feel like that person should have got fired from that.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think anybody should be working in healthcare if they're going to let their religious beliefs affect their, what they provide. If somebody has medication a doctor has prescribed, if there's some health concern, or if there's some concern that needs to be addressed, let it be addressed. I mean, don't let opioids be handed out like fucking candy. But
yeah,
But once again, that's contradicting to what I said earlier, though. But go ahead. I'm just not gonna.
No,
I'm not gonna bite on that.
I'm trying to understand how that was.
Well, before you're saying it's their right, but then now you're saying if they don't hand out.
No, like if there's question to it, if there's a health concern that there's not a health concern to giving birth control or if there's a health concern to abortion, absolutely that needs to be.
But there's always a health concern for birth control. You don't know how it's gonna react to a person's body. Half birth control doesn't even work.
Well, that's every medication. That's every medication.
Yeah.
Every medication I've been on has had some cautions attached, and those are things that pharmacists and pharmacy techs should take into account. But that's the thing. Like there comes a point where it's like, oh, this is a huge amount, and that's something that insurance companies usually look at. So if my medications, for instance, I'll flat out there, if a certain seizure medication is above the daily recommendation of somebody 5 times my weight, then they're going to say, is this right? And they contact the doctor's office, and the doctor's office contacts them, and they exchange a bunch of paperwork for about 32 hours. Then they stroke each other off and jizz on each other's faces. And then you eventually get your medication.
I was gonna say, if you're talking about insurance companies, they're not going back and forth to jerk each other off. They're going back and forth to trying to find a way to say, fuck this guy, we're not going to give him
They don't want to pay. Yeah, they don't want to pay for the, but not all honesty. If your insurance company allows you to get a shitload of opioids and then later they'll have to eventually likely pay for your for some type of recovery from a drug addiction, something like that.
They'll turn around and say, no, it was your own fault. You should have known how to control yourself.
Yeah, of course, they're going to avoid that. But if they allowed you to get all that medication, that's something that they're going to have to fight down the line. So in the end, they're going to have to pay something, whether it's their employees for their time or what. But
I just think overall, like I was saying before, accountability is the problem. And it's the problem, and I think that's one of the reasons why it was overturned, because of people that's out here having meaningless sex without trying to have a family. And
I get what you're saying,
man. You get to do what you want.
I get what you're saying, Lockhart.
You should you should take precautions.
It's not like I'm not saying like, they can't go out and do what they want to do. They can go ahead and do what they want to do. But what happens when too many of them are doing that? You know what I'm saying?
How about this argument for you? Since you're about that, what about if a woman is raped and she gets pregnant from that? She didn't want to have the sex. Should she be allowed to go have an abortion, or should she face some sort of consequence?
So what I said before was that it should be overturned, right? But we should be still somehow holding women accountable, because
you're saying holding a woman accountable for something that may be completely out of their control.
Hold on. At the end of the day, should be at the end of the day for those who are out there just having fun with it and getting pregnant. And that's why I gave the example of the ex's sister.
But
they should be held accountable.
Who is going to be the person that sits there and says this person was having sex just to go and have sex for fun?
You see,
whereas this person over here was being raped by their uncle, their father, their brother, their cousin.
I was.
How are you going to sit there and say that?
Well, the thing is,
yes, my complete point on that.
Well, yeah, but trying to make something so specific like that, you end up with other issues. I mean, no lie, not long after this, a National Right to Life official, 10-year-old should have had baby. I mean, I could scroll through this article.
Are you talking about the one in Ohio?
I'll show it.
Yeah, I read that. They're saying the 10-year-old should have had the child. The 10-year-old was raped by someone in the family. And what's really messed up is I believe it was the mom's boyfriend. And the right to life are saying that. Well, that's just it. There's a bunch of Republicans, right-wing nut jobs that, including Fox News. They sat there and said that that 10-year-old should have had that child, but she went across the border because she was in Indiana. She went across the border over to Illinois, got an abortion to prevent her from having the child.
Is there a clip of this?
Should not have a child.
I've got the story brought up right
Fox News.
up here. Now, not specifically that, but
Yeah.
I mean here, the title National Right to Life official 10-year-old should have had baby.
Fox News has scrubbed everything off the internet. It is so bad. Fox News, because Tucker Carlson and a couple other right-wing nut jobs are sitting there saying, "Oh well, she shouldn't, she should have the child, this and that," and then it come to find out that it wasn't a 10-year-old that decided to have sex. It was a 10-year-old who was raped, who had police.
If a person,
we're currently investigating, but because the police didn't want to let the person know that they were investigating, that individual or had a warrant for that individual's arrest, they didn't say anything. So they're sitting there going, "Oh no, this is a lie. This is a bullshit."
If a person gets raped, obviously they need to go ahead and go for the abortion because of that reason. I understand that. Duh. Yeah. I'm just saying for those who are out there riding the hot dog carousel, which is what I'm saying.
There are women out there that are riding the hot dog carousel that aren't wanting to ride the hot dog carousel.
Hey, Brown, let me finish my statement before you kind of. So what I'm saying is there's got to be a way to just show some more accountability than what it was. That's all I'm getting at. Whether you guys agree or disagree, that's all I was just really making a point of. So, but yeah, but if someone's getting sick and
What made you?
If someone's getting sick or someone's sick or someone got raped or there's some sort of danger involved with it, of course they need to follow through and be aborted. With the abortion.
Another one that I've seen, and this is all from the right-wing nut job pre-Roe v. Wade being overturned.
What made you guys want to work in glass?
Even as a
Eventually, I
child,
get this shit fixed.
I really
It's
loved
trying to
fire,
mute.
campfires, watching how it danced, and when I got to
I'll let it just play.
Netflix doesn't want to fucking shut up for me. What I was trying to bring up was something relative.
Well, what I was saying was you had all these pre-Roe v. Wade people saying, the pro-life motherfuckers. They were sitting there saying, "Oh, well, we need to stop third trimester abortions." You guys don't understand. If you're in the third trimester of a pregnancy, 99.9999 for infinitely continuing on % of the women that were at the third trimester that had an abortion weren't doing it because they wanted to get out of having a kid, or them and the husband or father of the child had fallen out with each other. 99.99% of those women had a baby room set up, had a gender reveal party, had a baby shower, have diapers and clothes and everything ready to go for when they're having that child, only to go to their OBGYN and find out that their child that they were so excited for is not viable. It's killing her. It will kill her if she try to give birth, or it'll kill her and the infant.
Well, in some cases.
Yeah, it's just. I remember my little sister. She was when she was back in high school. She went to a Catholic church, so she went to a pro-life rally. And when she came back, me and her have a sit-down conversation. And she was saying, "Oh, well, we got to stop these third trimester stops." And it's like, no. We don't, because almost all of them are always a woman, a family, having to hear horrible, devastating news that is crushing them, and to find out they have to.
You say 99? Did you say 99?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm saying third trimester.
Talking about late,
the last 3 months.
Yes,
the last 3 months of the pregnancy, right before they're right around the time the child is almost ready to come out.
Okay, did you say 99% of those people?
Oh yeah, 99% of the women are not trying to end the pregnancy because they just want to end it. They're trying to, have that child, and then they find out something's wrong where the child won't live. Like it's a completely different scenario than what people in the right-wing nut jobs.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah,
I want to make sure I heard that.
yeah, maybe. And the only reason I say 99% is because I'm gonna give up, that 1%, that 0.1% or point whatever percent, that minuscule group that are trying to end their pregnancies in that last trimester just because they don't want to have a baby anymore. There's going to be women out there. There's going to be people out there that are wanting to do that.
Well, I mean, when you get to that
human.
point, it's kind of like, well, why'd you wait this long? But I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Then you're also touching on things. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Spur. I was just gonna say, I'm just looking now for the male side of it as well. It's not because the whole Ray versus what? Or I'm sorry, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Roe Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Thank you. It doesn't just affect the women; it affects the men too. And what I'm trying to say simply is, the men, when it comes down to who get in this country, when it comes down to a child who gets to live on this earth or in America, the women get the rights to say that, and the men have no rights, unfortunately. And then that needs to change, in my opinion.
Well, in my response,
and I know I know that we're not necessarily talking about that particular subject, right? We're talking about abortion.
It's a valid
that's where
point
I'm
to bring
coming.
up.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But my response to that is, guess what? We don't have to carry a growing body for 9 months. So it's not a decision I'm going to get to make. So I'm just going to exclude myself.
That's also right.
And
You're right.
Hey, it's kind of in that downside of being a guy. At the same time, I don't have something that's 7 pounds tearing out of my midsection.
Right,
rearranging your organs.
Well, you may not have someone tearing down out of your midsection, but the problem is that you got women out here who will get pregnant and then put out any guy and say that that's the father on the birth certificate, and then next thing you know, that person has to now prove that that's not their child, or they have to pay.
Well, and guess what? There's DNA tests for
those things.
And you know what?
And there's still a case, and like I said last time, there's been a case out there where even the DNS the DNA. I'm sorry. Wow, it's getting late. It still said it didn't belong to him, and that judge was still making him pay child support over a child that's not even his.
Well, so I'm not familiar with those cases.
That's
a bad judge.
Look it up.
I'm not familiar with those cases. Yeah, I mean, I'm you're likely
look
right. I believe you. But the fact is, like in Missouri, where we're at, if somebody's not on the birth certificate, they're going to have them do a DNA test before they have any custodial rights. If they claim they are not the father, they're going to have a DNA test.
That's if it's challenged.
No, like they can challenge it as well. Because guess what? It's not a quick process that your wages are garnished. I know in this other states may be different. In this state, I'm pretty well versed in how a lot of this works. I've seen a lot of the paperwork. There are DNA tests, and and I've never.
Sister has 3 children with a piece of shit ex-husband, so I'm kind of well versed on it too.
I've never seen a document that states you are not the father, and I've even serving papers. I've even served somebody, did not know they had a kid. Guess what? Documentation, they had his DNA. Apparently at some point it was drawn. This was in a jail. I handed him documentation. He thought I was one of his fucking lawyers. Like, do I look like a fucking lawyer?
Sometimes.
I looked like shit that day. I slid they said take the staple out. I took the staple out. I slid it to him. And I said, this is just, this is child support paperwork. He says, child support. I said, yeah. I don't have a kid. And kind of pointed, I'm like, that's a DNA test result, sir. You do. Have a nice day. And at that point, I realize he's locked in a room. There's glass between us, and I am locked in a room. I just turned around, looked at the camera like, I need to go now. My job's done. Can
I leave now, please?
Yeah. I mean, I had no fear of him. It was me, him, and one of the funny parts was the the corrections officer left him in the room because I guess he assumed I was a lawyer too, and just walked away.
Okay, I had another. I know we're on this still, but I have a situation I want to talk about that came up in the news. So we can talk about that.
Are we completely changing topics?
Yes.
All right.
So,
Before
we're pulling the e-brake, hitting the left, and
before we do that, I did just want to say, and actually, it's kind of a toss out there. It's a toss up to Netflix. Since we were talking about things such as reasons for abortions, incest is one of the reasons for abortions. And
yes,
is it possible to have an incestual relationship without knowing it? Unlikely.
Yes,
but
it's
possible. It's possible.
I was gonna say
without knowing.
I read about a brother and sister who didn't know they were brother and sister. They lived across the street from each other and they grew up next to each other. And come to find out when they got older and they decided to do an ancestry.
She was the girl next door and the sister.
Yeah.
God, that's.
Now I tell you what,
God. I feel
like
bad.
you, and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Sorry, Chris Hansen.
That's good. That's good. I don't even have Chris Hansen in my soundboard. Oh well.
Anyway, let's just move on.
But no. I'm not ready to move on from that yet. As I was stating.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Let me go and toss this out there. There's actually a documentary on Netflix right now. Oh man, what is it
about a brother and a sister having a child?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
Is it the mother and father or mother and son?
Nope. It is none of the above. This documentary is called Our Father. So
it's about the guy that had as many kids as he possibly could because he was
you may be right.
Because he was a one of those in vitro fertilization doctors, and instead of using the semen,
what he did was instead of actually going out, in fact, now there's sperm banks. There's ways to preserve sperm to provide it at a later point in time. You freeze it, and I guess you microwave it or something.
You're not
squirted on in there. No. So
hey, we have a friend that we can go to about this. We just got to hit her up.
So
Who
there's
the fuck are you talking about?
God.
I'll tell you.
We'll discuss later. So there's this doctor that had a lot of patients coming to him, and in a certain area, you don't want to use any certain person more than 3 times for in vitro. And at the time, they just used like nurses and shit. Like, okay, we need a sperm. Go. We need a sample. Go find somebody who hasn't been overused. So they'd go find a nurse, and he'd provide sperm. He'd be like, "Hey, dude, you want to provide?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's jacks off into a cup and gives it to him. And then they run it back, and they're like, "Okay." And they take the little thing and they stick it in there.
The hose.
Not only did they make a documentary about this guy, they made a regular movie kind of about this guy, sort of like Lucy, where it was starring Vince Vaughn. But he found out that his DNA, his sperm, had been used way more than it should have, and he had like 30-something kids. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so at the time, it was just like one-shot use. They made the attempt. If she got pregnant off it, it'd be like, check mark. There's 1 try, 2 tries, and then 3. And there are 3 biological children running around. You don't want more than that in the geological area, because of the possibility of incest without knowing it. So what had happened was this doctor was not using that sperm. He was using his own sperm. And even at some points, whenever things weren't working right, a father or a husband and wife want to have a child of their own, they want to try his sperm first. He would at some point substitute his own. Oh yeah, the doctor would substitute his own. Therefore, he'd have this guy. I watched the documentary, but he ends up with a lot of biological children. When you think it's over,
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
over.
The documentary, because
So,
I literally
it's
just pulled it up on
dangerous
the thing.
levels.
It's called Our Father.
Yeah, I'm not going to give
So-
the number. Watch it. It's a good documentary. It's interesting. It's heartbreaking. It's pretty rough.
So he literally jacked off into a cup and then put it in the girl's vagina
Yes.
and said, "Here you go."
Well, no. So
I thought-
way
I thought
in
that
vitro
it's-
fertilization works is completely different than what you're thinking. So what he did
Yeah,
is he
tell me.
ejaculated into a cup, and then he took the spermicides from that ejaculation, and he put them into a petri dish, basically with the woman's egg, and tried to force the fertilization right then. So now the egg was fertilized, but it's in a petri dish. So then they take that fertilized egg. Actually, when it comes to in vitro fertilization, usually they use more than one fertilized egg in injections. The woman will then, after the fertilization of the egg happens, will take an injection into their uterus with a very long needle into their lower abdomen / like pelvic area. The woman will then inject it into her body and hope that one of those fertilized eggs hooks onto her uterine lining and allows her to become pregnant. And they have to do this during her like right before her period, because that's when a woman is the most fertile. And
Ovulation.
Hold on. So you're saying
ovulation.
that they have to inject it with like getting a shot,
No,
it's a needle that goes long enough through the
like a real needle, like a big ass needle.
Yeah.
At that time,
Okay,
were they
but-
doing
but-
that
So
way?
this is-
That's what
Because that's not how I heard. That's not how I
may be
heard
the more
it was
modern.
done. Because
That may be the more modern way.
what I heard was they have a guy, because the sperm can't hit oxygen because the sperm's gonna die. So the guy jacks off in this tubular thing, which they suck the whatever else oxygen out of it or whatever. The guy pulls into that, and then they freeze it, and then they quickly mail it to the person who they need to get it to. And then when they want to get intimate with whoever the woman is or whatever, then they take that and insert it into the girl's vagina, and then they press it down.
I think we may just be thinking way too hard about this because he was inserting.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I believe at this time he may have been doing the deed, providing the sperm and injecting it straight.
Right, but my question
This was back in the day.
My question with you. My question though is, I thought sperm dies immediately as soon as it hits oxygen.
No, it will not.
No, sperm can live for 3 days outside of the body. This includes inside of a woman.
Well, I mean, it's going to take 3 days for it actually to take, anyways.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But it can live outside the body for 3 days before it then loses its tail. Once it loses its tail, it becomes very difficult for a spermicide to fertilize an egg, because it doesn't have the propulsion system that it used to have to force itself
Spermicide, is
inside
that the
the
word?
egg. Yes, spermazoa. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, I say spermicide.
Spermazoa.
It's something else. That's what you want to use to
Spermazoa.
kill the sperm.
Yes, that was
In case
my
you,
bad. I
Did you bring
misspoke.
condoms?
Yeah. Hey, condoms are only 99.98% effective.
Hey, man, I tell you what, in grade school sex ed, they showed me that picture and how a condom definitely does not prevent STDs. That's all I know.
Yeah.
100% does not prevent STDs.
So next month when we do
That was
this,
my sex
when we
ed, that's all I
when we
remember.
have another people making statements, we need to reach out to an individual who works in this industry and have her explain it to us better, because we're all fucking stupid.
We all have no fucking idea what we're talking about. That's the issue. We all have like three to four different stories. And we're like,
Hey,
oh, okay. So,
I have a little bit of experience because I jizzed in a cup for a girl.
fair enough.
Hey, she decided that was not how we were going to do it. And her husband wasn't okay with us doing it the fun way.
The fun way?
The fun way.
All right.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Moving
Okay.
on. Lockhart, you had something you want to discuss. I just wanted to throw out here the Our Father. I watched it. It was good. Lockhart, as you are trying to
right.
pull the e-brake and make a sharper left than usual.
Shit. Okay, at least I made it through. We didn't crash, did we? So,
50.
with that being thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. No, Sid, thank you. All right, everybody, shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyway. Jeez.
Now I'm just hitting buttons.
Oh. Wow. I didn't even.
I like the guy in the back yelling, "You suck."
One.
I did not know I had that one. You suck. All right, go on.
That's great. I had no idea he had that for me. All right,
I
so here's the deal. So I don't know if you guys heard on about Sesame Place.
Sesame Place? Is that like Sesame Street?
Yes, but it's an actual park that they actually have it's like a parade and rides and shit. It's called Sesame Park or Place. I'm sorry. So I want to know how you guys feel about this, and I'm just want to know hear out of the opinion. So apparently, one of the characters from Sesame Street was walking through with the rest of them and was giving all the people high fives and hugs until they got to these two little girls, and they decided that person who was in the outfit decided not to give him a hug, and he waved his hand at them like no, to shoot them away type of deal, and kept walking. Now the issue is this blew up because of the fact that the character was hugging all the kids who were white and high-fiving them, and then when they got to the two daughters or two little girls who were black, they didn't want to hold and hug that, they didn't want to get involved with them. So the character shook his head no and refused to acknowledge them and keep walking. And so
the person wearing that costume needs to be fired.
This blew up, and Sesame Street tried to say, they put out a statement trying to say that they did not think that the character was purposely trying to ignore or discriminate. It's and they tried to say that due to the costume, it's kind of hard to tell who is below them as far as height. And this is all I have to say about that.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Fucking lying.
So I wish this was one that you actually would have shared with us beforehand. I'd love to read into it. It's actually, I find it interesting because Sesame Street is one of those ones that's in the past reached out and tried to reach out to any minority or anything like that. So, I mean, they were one of the first to try to involve black children more, and after that, children of Middle Eastern descent. And I mean, one of the more recent ones, I think it was a little girl that had two moms or something like that. Sesame Street has been known. It's what that's a Channel 9 show, right? That's
yes, PBS.
Yeah,
PBS
public
show.
PBS. Okay, so PBS has been known for trying to reach out and be inclusive. It's a bit disturbing to hear that somebody is working for them would be the opposite, and it would even more concerning that they would try to defend somebody that would be that way, unless of course they actually have some good faith in that person. Why they would stop at any point during that? It's their job to reach out and interact. Why at any point they'd say, "Okay, I'm done interacting. Fuck off." I find that in itself concerning. So yes, I would look at this. I would say, why would you suddenly back off the interaction? So I'm kind of with you with that's odd. it should be promoted 100% of the way through this with whatever they're doing. You know, it's not like, you know, it's just like at a ball game. A mascot's not going to go out there and interact with everybody, but they're there because it's a ball game or something. They're not there because it's a parade, and they're there to interact with everybody that reaches towards them in some way appropriately.
Well,
you know,
if it's a child, and you clearly see the two kids there.
And that's why I find it concerning. Like, it's like, you know, this is a, you know, PBS isn't has worked to be inclusive, and it's like, that's kind of, if they're doing something like a parade, yeah, they want to interact with as much as possible, and there shouldn't be much restriction to that. It doesn't make sense. The story in itself, you know, does not sound positive for that group. You know, and I just have to say, like, PBS makes their money because they built a fantastic setup. I mean, I'd say the kids show for PBS wouldn't be what they were if they weren't actually very good for kids across the board. Kids of different ages, kids of different backgrounds, of all types, whether it be skin color, nationality, or disabilities, different types of parents, for instance, straight or gay. You know, that's important when you talk about something like something owned by PBS, and that's why they get public money. And I mean, I think it's important that they're held accountable for everything they do, because that is public money, and it needs to be good for everybody.
They definitely did try to deflect and see if that would work, and now they're in hot water for that. So, yeah. Brow, what do you think? And I got my final thought to this after this.
It's very simple. The individual in that costume needs to be told they are no longer going to be in that costume because they have failed at their job miserably. And PBS attempting to, you know, backtrack on it, that's usually standard MO for most companies, for anything. Hey, this individual fucked up and we're going to backtrack. That's not how we should be playing. Honestly, it comes down to the individual that was wearing the costume. No matter what happened, the individual made a mistake or has prejudice. I don't know that individual, so I'm going to count it as a mistake at the moment until I know further information about that person. So,
well, I'll just say this, and I'll just go ahead and get on this. When is this shit going to stop? Like, when are people in America who hate black people and black people who are super scared of the white person? Or
it never will, honestly.
When is this shit going to stop? Like, when is it going to stop? When are we going to have people look at me, because I'm a black man, as somebody who is non-threatening and not someone that's out to hurt you? I'm not out to get anyone, right? So when is this shit going to stop? Like, I hate racism to a fucking T, and I don't understand why people can't get on board with that same type of hatred towards it, because it's not helpful. It's not healthy. And then on top of that too, you're no better than anybody else. So if I really sat down and did an evaluation on somebody else and look and see how that person's character is, light and dark, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find shit that I'm probably not going to approve of either. But at the end of the day, we're all fucking human. And
you're now two people, just so you know. That's a disconnect issue. He's coming back. There he goes. But yeah, no.
That's why I said that was weird.
It happens.
But
no, I hear what you're saying. And here's one of the things. To your defense, or to what you're saying, I agree. To Brow's end, he says he's going to kind of, he's going to hold off on judgment. And I understand that as well. Because what's going to happen is anytime anything seems racist or prejudiced or any variation thereof, it's going to be jumped on. And it's just what happens. I understand both angles there. it doesn't like I kind of lean towards something don't sound right. It sounds like it could be prejudicial, but I mean, hell, maybe there is a legitimate excuse. Now, I don't know if listening to one of the Subject to Change shows. Hold on. I mean, it could, there could be a legitimate, there could be a legitimate excuse to a lot of things. But am I leaning in that direction? No, I'm not. But I will give it a benefit of the doubt. But was it subject to change that the quote from the voice of God himself? That's what I know him as. I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. I love how that's just well known enough. A quote of
Bruce
Morgan
Almighty,
Freeman
great
just brought
movie.
up. Right. But I mean, it's not Bruce Almighty that makes him the voice of God. He is just the voice of God.
Yeah. So it's subject to change.
What did Morgan Freeman say? What did Morgan Freeman say?
He said
do we know?
So he said that the only way to end racism is to stop talking about it. And at first I agreed with them.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it and I realized bullshit. That's not gonna stop it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, there's
the only
solid.
way to end racism is to prevent the individuals who are racist, the families
from
and stuff like that,
becoming racist. And what I think
I would even say prevent them from having children, because they're just going to
there's that
teach
too.
their children to have racist thoughts, and that's the only way to stop it. And no matter what we do, there are individuals who are in power that will teach our children racism, because they say, oh, this person is the reason you don't have a job. This person is sucking the money that you pay into our taxes from you. This person does that. This person does that. Honestly, it's not going to go away anytime soon, and I don't know how to stop it.
Can I give some input on that quote from Morgan Freeman, and say where I see its strengths? Now, I definitely see its weaknesses, but I understand where it's coming from him, from the heart thing. The best way, and he says stop racism by you stop talking about it. Well, no, it's not. I don't think it's a literal statement. You don't just stop talking. And it's not even you stop making a big deal out of it, because it is a big deal. It's not a small deal. It's equality. It's why we've had a lot of discussions regarding the government, shit like that. But the way you stop it is make people forget that race. Honestly, race is not the right term. Race is human. That's what race is. None of us are a different race. We're all human. So, but make people forget that different colors exist. You look at a child, you see children interact. They don't realize that a child is a different until they're told they're a different color, or they notice, oh, that person's looks different than I do. They'll
racism
it is learned. It's a learned trait.
Let me explain why I don't agree with that. I know several reasons that kids will know. They do notice a difference. The difference is that they don't. What's being taught to them is whether it's being accepted or not accepted is what it really comes down to.
It's a learned trait.
So that part, what the acceptance is a learned trait. It's not that they don't see there's a difference, because hold on now. There's kids that can see. Oh, well, Tim's a different shade than Nick is. They can see that. They can clearly understand that. It's just the fact of the matter is that they have to also understand along with that doesn't mean that Tim is better than Nick because of the color of his skin or vice versa. That's what needs to be taught. And instead,
no, that's the thing. It's taught otherwise. There should be, in defense of what Morgan Freeman stated, nothing should have to be taught. You don't have to teach a child that people are equal. A child will understand people are equal without that information be put out there. They will realize it on their own.
But they're taught otherwise. but the way that racism it manifests is that people don't come. A racist doesn't say that they're racist. This is now we're kind of getting into the episode with me and Doc what we're talking about. Racism. Racist people don't say that they're racist. What they do is they say things that downplay a person's character that is usually stereotypic to a person's color of skin. That's what they do.
And you know where they learn that from? Mom and dad.
Go ahead.
Right. They learn it from others.
They learn it from
if they're not taught, and that's where I'm 100% defending what Morgan Freeman said. You do it's all learned. So if they're stopped taught, if it's not talked about, quote unquote, then they don't learn to hate people for their background, the way they look, ethnicity, etc. That's where I understand what's going on. And the quicker you can stop all that, the quicker it ends.
But if you're being proactive of saying, if you're being more instead of just not saying anything, but versus being proactive of saying something positive, that would also do that much more healing versus not doing anything. That's why I don't agree with his statement. Because I
understand that. I understand that, but you shouldn't have to say
that's what I'm saying.
Things. You shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to.
But you should, because all people in the right are positive.
Positivity,
exactly.
Good.
That's what I'm saying.
But
everybody in the right, even on this podcast, is positive. It's just it's the fact. It's the old saying. Okay, well, shit's broken. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Complain that it's broken, or are you gonna pick a broom up and start sweeping?
But, and that's the thing. Whenever you start pointing out differences, because they're that, doesn't mean they're this. It's like things start cranking. Well, okay. All right. Interesting. You shouldn't have, if the child's never learned that, then you don't need to correct it. So what you need to do is just stop teaching children the wrong things. And if it's not an issue, now I'm not saying if a child says, well, that's different. Not that I'm not saying, hey, you don't say, oh, yeah, they look different, but they're not.
But Spirit, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it's simple. Is most humans are afraid of things that they don't know about. So they inquire. They have to know some type of information so that they're not afraid of what the fuck they're looking at or around. It even includes their environment. So you have to teach them something so that way they know how to survive. So if you're going to teach them something, why not teach them something in the positive light? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Instead of following what Morgan Freeman is saying, which is don't say shit. That's why I agreed. That's why at first I agreed with them, but then I thought about it and I was like, nope. It has to be also gracefully taught in a loving manner that, hey, yeah, this person may have this type of culture and this person may this type of culture, but that's what makes us, our differences is what makes us stronger all together, yada, yada, yada. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, that should be taught all around. It shouldn't be. It should be taught, sex,
right,
gender, race. I mean, across the board. That's not a race thing. That's an across the board thing.
But it is when you have a person who associates dark or color or a color
associates
such as
any
dark.
No, it's.
To a negative thing.
I think part of it is separating it from all other things that are different. It's not the same as what you are. That's the thing. And you approach that as it comes up. And that's the thing. You stop talking about it. Now, you don't just stop talking about it you don't stop teaching it to those, around you, those that ask, or you don't stop having this. Yeah, but that's the thing. You take something that's literally said and brow falls over. But, you...
I don't know what the fuck happened.
I don't know. But, yeah, I mean...
Brow's a little drunk.
Just fell forward. That's all. But yeah, you.
Wow.
That's a first. That's the thing. I'm trying to put into words. You don't separate it from all the others. You approach it the same as the others. You don't specifically discuss race. There are always going to be differences in things that are asked about, and things that are discussed among a family, among a school group, among any group. And all I'm saying is I understand what he was saying. I understand it can also be misinterpreted. There are many directions you can come from that, but I understand what he was saying, and I agree with that point. But I'm not disagreeing with you by saying that.
Okay, I'm going to say that his point to me was very of a simple point, and it was because he thinks that making a simple statement and following that simple rule would pretty much cover all bases, and it's not. It will not do that, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying.
It's a hard reset idea. It really is. That's what I would call it. It's a hard reset idea. It means you start new, but the thing is, a hard reset idea like that, it can fuck up a generation, and that's kind of where that lies. Yeah, you need to find a blending time. There should be a point at which we don't have to talk about that.
Well, in a world like we are now, I mean, how many years we all been doing it together now? Racism still exists, so we're already fucked up.
Sooner than that, we're all gonna fucking burn up. So,
yeah. Or be replaced by robots, and that's another thing that I want to bring up. All these women going backwards. Okay,
women going backwards. Wait. We doing sex robots now? Or I did read an article about this couple that bought
when do we get sex robots? I would like to know.
I just want to rewind back. I just want to rewind back.
Robot.
That was the wrong button.
I just want to rewind back for a moment. Think about it like
buttons.
this. Listen, what if we ended up having androids that are women and that can,
I am not having sex with my phone.
No, an actual android woman, like a woman that's like a human robot woman that you can actually have a relationship with, right? And you can actually clap those cheeks. Think about it. What if you had
off YouTube?
My sister would be out of work if that happened.
Okay, so what would happen to the women that
Hold
are
on, I had this one waiting. I had that waiting.
So what would happen to the women that the human women, okay, obviously, that see us men getting with androids instead of them? What would happen? What do you think would happen?
I mean, they've already got their little things.
Say again, Brow. I think Brow's on something.
They're better off with what they got.
And would stop giving up the sex.
It works in both directions.
Yeah, the women would be pissed off and would stop giving up sex. And you know what happened? More guys would fuck androids. And you know what? I'm down for that. If they're good looking, I'm down for it.
And you know what? We could probably use to reduce population. We could.
So
reduce population.
So hold on now. So if we're gonna fuck the androids, then the women who are on standby are just looking at us crazy from the sideline are gonna go, well, if I'm not gonna give them any pussy, then fuck them, right? They're gonna die alone most likely. But the girls who really want to be with a man, they're gonna have to work even harder to give away that pussy. Like, I mean, seriously, harder, like, for real.
The next minute, I see me spreading along the timeline, playing with my pussy.
For real. So
I'll be back.
Fair enough. No, I mean, so it goes both ways. There's toys for men. There's toys for women. How is it Android or things are more realistic? They're becoming more realistic. So, or maybe not more realistic, but more effective. How's that any different? Women have very
So it
effective
is-
toys. Men have effective toys.
So they have just figured out a way to start putting subconscious into an android body, using whatever the biggest format of storage space that is. I forgot what it's called. I think it starts with a P. They can put a conscious into that android. Not only can they do that, but depending on
Petabytes.
Okay, sure.
I'm just making shit up now. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So
using that, they make it as realistic as possible.
To make it realistic as possible, and on top of that, they can do things, make some certain features that the android could have that a woman wouldn't probably have. The other thing is they could probably make it sound a little bit just realistic. Now, don't get me wrong, it wouldn't be as real as the thing, because toys can't talk back to you. Toys aren't warm. I get what you're saying, but here's they can't. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm saying when I say that statement, Spur, I'm saying the statement of there's no way a man or a woman can create intimacy. I'm sorry, with a toy, but with an android.
An android's a toy. Don't tell me an android's not a toy.
With an android, the possibility, because of the subconscious being put into one, the intimacy level could increase to where it's at a threatening level to where a man doesn't even want to deal with a human woman that's a bitch. Okay?
This bitch.
Okay? So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I got you. And I mean, the fact is, fuck, let it happen. I don't give a shit. There'll be plenty of people say you can't replace the real thing, and that's going to be true. You cannot replace the real thing. As close as you can get, it's not going to happen.
Close.
And you know what? You can fucking reduce the population. That's fine. I have no issue with that.
I'm not saying that I would. I'm just saying that I'm just throwing hypothetical.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand.
I mean, we would deal with racism on a whole nother level too. What if I had an android girlfriend that brought her over there? Hey,
if you want to bring your sex doll over or whatever.
Girlfriend. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Bring your sex doll over if you want.
Hey, I feel like that makes sense.
By the way, we're smoking meat next weekend, just so you know. I did that with ribs last night. I got a break in the smoker. But regardless, no, like that's the thing. Like, honestly, that could be a really good fucking thing. Slow down population growth, because that's a problem. Speaking of guide stones, does this click? Guide stones? Brow knows what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. He's chewing on like some nut mix. He's chewing on nuts,
popcorn.
But, yeah, popcorn.
Oh,
sorry.
I was like, what the fuck?
Drunk Brown needs something to kind of curb his drunkenness.
Yeah. So the guide stones. Speaking of population,
Lockhart, the guide stones were a thing in Georgia. They were one of the considered one of the Stonehenges of America.
So when were they built? In the 80s?
Stonehenge of I want to say mid to late 80s, yeah. Okay. And one of the they had in many different languages. They had what should the human population or humans should do, and the population. One of the first ones was human population should be restricted to 500 million across the world. I think it what it was or something like that.
And this is like in a cataclysmic event. This is what you should do to prevent another cataclysmic event.
Yeah,
that's far below what the population is now.
And this again was in Georgia, and there was a individual who was running to become a candidate for the Georgia governorship, and she said that those guide stones were satanic.
And that's not. She's not the first person to say that. That's actually been something. I mean, they said they're a religious thing or they're satanic because the Bible says be fruitful, which is exactly what that guy who jerked off into cups and stuck it into 100 different women said. But
he misused that. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but after she said this, someone decided to blow them up, and they blew up 1/3 of them. And the woman that was running for governorship, she said that if she became governor, she was going to remove those monuments completely. She had zero possibility of becoming a governor candidate.
Why? Because she was on crack or something?
Just about. Like she was, cuckoo, Cocoa Puffs.
I mean, come on now. Let's be honest. She's going to Atlanta. She's going to District Richmond. She's going to Columbus. She's going to Macon-Bibb County. She's going to Savannah. She's going to Athabasca County. Sorry. I needed an excuse to use that.
She had zero opportunity of actually winning, and she lost in the primary in Georgia, and then someone blew it up.
So
and they tore the rest of them down.
Took a bomb and blew up one of them, which made it unstable because it was somebody had it built, and they had all the shit inscribed in it. And you could look at it somewhat as a religious thing. You could look at it as just a belief thing. However you can look at it any way you wanted, but a lot of people took it religiously and took it as an assault on their own religions that said, be fruitful, fuck a lot. So
I mean, yeah, we're supposed to be fruitful, but yeah,
right, yeah, but also at the same time, being too fruitful, you run out of resources, and that's what he was getting at with this, and he was, kind of pointing out, limit this, and you'll have less of a problem. You won't need as much resources, therefore, not as much resources will be created, and everybody is fruitful, not necessarily with their loins, but everybody's healthy, happy, and all that. But I mean, there you have it. That's what he's saying. So a lot.
I was gonna say the Bible was written during a time when the average lifespan was like 35.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're looking at. No. It was. It was like 35.
The average lifespan was very short.
Listen,
as much as it said somebody was a couple hundred years old. And it does in some points. There are some things that should not be taken literally.
Just because we're speaking about the Bible, one of the things that I think is hilarious is you have all these pro-life people that are saying it's not in the Bible for abortion. The Bible, in multiple occasions, will talk about aborting fetuses and or firstborn children. A lot more than they would like to admit.
Killing first.
Where's it at? Like, give me a scripture.
Old Testament, Moses leaving Egypt before he left. Anyone that hadn't put goat's blood on the door of their living facility, the firstborn son was killed. One of God's plagues.
What I'm saying is, give me the scripture where you see that at. Like, where is it in the Bible? Like, give me John chapter 1, verse what?
I want to say it's Luke 12, Luke 12, verse 18, I believe.
I went to Catholic school. I don't know shit.
There's multiple times where it talks about aborting a child, or how about this? There was who was it? Oh, god damn it! One of God's disciples, he forced him to murder his own child. That's technically an abortion.
So Luke 12 verse 18, and he said, "This I will do: I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and all my goods."
That may not be. That's not 19, the right verse, but that actually sounds pretty close.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then in verse 19, he says, "And I will say to my soul, so that."
How about this? There's the Bible verse in which it asks how much a woman should go for it.
Eat, drink, and be merry. Now, what was he saying?
There's a Bible verse in which it asks how much you should auction off your daughter or your child. West Wing is one of the best ones for this. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
You said West Wing is one of the best things for this, like the show.
Yes, yes. West Wing actually had
that's something I never saw. On this. I actually that's a show I got into and never completed. Because so
you ain't got
long.
the answer, Sway.
Okay.
Are you the police?
No, ma'am. We're musicians.
that was not what I thought it was. I thought it was we're on a mission from God. Maybe that's this.
You see, we're on a mission from God.
There you go. That's what I was. Just killing the dead time there. I don't know if he's actually finding it or not.
Hold on. I'll tell you here in 1 second.
Okay, we're getting.
That's how you kill the dead time.
We're just gonna keep pushing buttons until we get there. We find anything yet? We find anything? Anything?
No.
I'm looking for a car that's been tricked out to look like an ice cream truck. Da, 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 da,
Your mom says.
Okay. No, it's straight. We're straight robbing Family Guy at this point.
I know, right? That robot.
Do we find it? Do we find it? Is there any reason to find it? Are we proving anything at this point?
Well, I want to go ahead and take this time out for the special break. I just found out that it costs $300 to replace speakers in the fucking screen on my fucking iPhone. That fucking sucks. I couldn't hear shit. Jesus. Nobody could call me. Anybody that called me today, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you at all. No matter what the fuck I did, I speakerphone or just regular hey blah blah blah, I could not hear you. That's some bullshit. No, yeah. Well, it took 2 to 3 hours to fix.
Any newer device is gonna be that. They were able to fix it that quick.
Yes, thank God, because I had to leave. I left work. Well, no, not only that, but they had the part to fix it because I have an iPhone 12, right? And we're on iPhone 13, so the parts are limited for iPhone 12, and so thank God that they had it, because otherwise I wouldn't have been out of phone for 7 days.
Oh, God. Anyways, speaking of Lockhart's private lives, I wanted to share this story.
What the?
Texas man Sonic the Hedgehog collection earns Guinness World Record. Check this shit out. If I can get rid of the fucking ads.
Okay, I like it. I'm liking
30 collecting the memorabilia for 30 years at a Guinness World Record. 3,050 items, I guess. So you bought a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Sega Genesis in '92. First ever video game purchase. That's something to give you a heart on. And he's been hooked on the character ever since. Yeah, look at that. So I mean, that's the story, right? I mean, we can scroll through.
Was that?
Okay, so hold on now.
21/7.
21/7.
Do you think that's right?
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
I had to mute both of you guys and go farther. Exodus 21/7.
You're a hater, Spur, for bringing that shit up. Okay, don't hate.
We're on a mission.
Don't hate because I love Sonic. Okay, whatever. Listen, don't hate because I collect Sonic gear. Okay, that's why you see it in my background here. Okay, Sonic shit everywhere. I don't care.
Hey,
so
is Exodus 21/7 something that we should follow?
Well, what's it say?
What?
Exodus 21/7.
What does it say?
It's about how much you should get for a daughter for a price. How much price should you get for her?
The fuck does that got any? What does it? Just read it.
No, Exodus 21/7 is about how much you should get for your daughter when it comes to selling her off to another for marriage. Is that something we should follow?
Why is that a question? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because
I think
you got
it's in
these
line with-
Bible thumping bastards that sit there and say, "Oh, we should follow we should follow the Bible." Well, Exodus 21:7 says, "How much should you get for a child?" You know, is 2 goats and a herd of cattle enough for her?
I can tell you.
I agree.
Fucking drunk. You're so fucking drunk.
I am drunk, and I probably missed some of the points that you guys talked about. But simply, you got these Bible companies that say, "Oh, Bible's against abortion." In reality, you have so many cases for it.
Yeah, no, we were completely somewhere else. We were discussing fighting invasive crabs, which apparently you had an infestation.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm drunk.
Did you bring condoms?
Shut up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. Don't say anything else for the rest of the fucking podcast.
Yo, but I actually do have a I do have a story about fighting invasive crabs
joking.
that Brow may actually have some interest in.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no. Fighting invasive crabs. Was a small article done by NPR. There is a distillery turning crabs into whiskey.
What kind of? Are we talking like
whiskey? Like
are we
drinking
talking
whiskey, like this?
No. I'm saying what I'm saying is the proof. Is it like strong or is it?
Well, that's honestly, strength of whiskeys can always be done by distilling more than one time or distilling at different temperatures. There are multiple ways. It disappeared. No, there. Now I see a hand. So there's a lot to.
Gas drink or not?
Okay. All right.
So
go ahead.
So there's multiple ways that proof can be increased or alcohol content can be increased in any form of alcohol. But in this case, crab is just a one ingredient in a whiskey. And, so apparently it's like a pound of crab will go into a bottle of whiskey. So keep in mind, you cook something in, you let it ferment, you create a mash. We'll go back to whiskey style, and you create a mash, you let it ferment, and then you heat it up to a temperature that alcohol will evaporate, and then you channel that alcohol through a tube, and you send it through a coil, allowing it to turn back into a liquid and drip into a bottle. That is a very dumbed down, that's a very primitive version of distilling.
You create a white lightning.
Yeah, that's right there. That's moonshine, essentially. Now, of course, as professional distilleries do it, they do it different ways, but they've actually found a way to include crabs, and it's actually been able to make use of invasive species. I mean, there's plenty of invasive species around in North America that shouldn't be here. Certain fish. I think there's like Asian carp, just for example of a invasive species that can destroy an environment.
I have to hold my mic.
So you've got. Did it fall off?
Can't figure it out. Yes.
Did it fell off?
Drunk Brow can't figure it out.
You just take the C clamp and you clamp it on.
No.
It's not a C clamp. It's a spinny clamp.
That's a fucking C clamp.
Wow.
Unless you want to call it a G clamp.
Drunk Brows around.
Good night, morons.
Anyways, invasive species. They've made use of these crabs, and they're going to be selling them. It's going to be done by Tamworth Distilling, or it is being done by Tamworth Distilling. I'm going to take a look here and see if I can find any crab. See if we can.
Maker's Mark is fucking awesome.
No crab. Yes, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. Not at all. What proof is that?
What I've been currently drinking is 94 proof, 47% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, it's all right.
How you pronounce
on that? Good night, everybody.
I'm out of that. So now we're going to 110 proof. Yes, man. We're going to 110 proof.
Wait, what do you have that's 110? What's 110? What do you have that's 110?
It is called Maker's Mark Cask Strength.
Oh, well that explains it. Yeah, fucking cask. Oh man, we need to make a run down to Top Hat or no Wooden Hat to get some.
Where's that at?
It's down in New Florence, maybe. Yeah, New Florence. It's a couple miles down the highway. They've got a well, it's just a distillery, but I think Bloody Red is what I've been looking to grab. It's like $80 a bottle. It's made from 100%. No, I don't want to say 100%. It's made from red corn, which I found out different colored corn tastes different in whiskeys and bourbons. Yeah.
So, I told you guys before the show that I'm going on a cruise in the next 2 weeks.
Stop the cap.
I am buying what they call the Cheers package, so I get all my alcohol for free.
Is the rescue boat? Is the rescue boat free when you fall over the side?
Hey, my mother decided that I should not have a balcony because I might throw my nephew off.
Oh shit, that was bad. I was realizing
the opinions expressed in this
Super
podcast.
drunk if y'all haven't realized. So we're not gonna do a Browse Horse Sister story this week.
Oh shit. Hold
The
up.
views and opinions expressed in this podcast are not truly reflected by the podcast creators. Listener discretion is advised.
Where the
all right.
where the fuck was that? You with a deepened voice?
I don't know who the fuck that was. Somebody did that.
You need to give it back.
Goddamn drunk brow, fucking asshole.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah, get up that meth, man.
Family round the table. For this meal we're grateful. Pizza overlord. It's good.
Oh god. Tamworth Distillery is the crab. People. Oh man.
People bear.
We've dug through. We've dug through everything. I have.
Hey, Brown, I dare you to fart in the microphone. I tell you turn around and fart into the microphone.
I don't have to fart right now.
Can we end every podcast with you sloshed? I'm all for it. I'm not paying for it, but I'm all for it.
I want to talk about something.
Okay.
Volunteer something while we're pulling up. So this goddamn so this Facebook group that I have, which is the firearms group. Okay, I'm noticing that the activity in there now that Ryan has left has pretty much became to nobody doing shit. Okay, no one saying anything, nobody else posting anything, nobody saying anything. This has been up for at least
it's because Ryan was fucking crazy.
It's because it was a meme group.
Well, Ryan's not. What?
It was a meme group.
Okay, well, it's not a meme group.
Brow is making love to that popcorn, I want to point out. But no, it was not meant to be a meme group, but it became a meme group, and that's just what happened.
Right, but now that
gone.
Now that person's not there, right? we should go back to what it
people
was,
that are
because
there
we don't-
aren't interested in what. In what
So,
it was.
so what you're saying? So what I'm hearing you all say is I should shut it down.
Yeah, I'd probably just shut it down.
Really?
Straight up, yeah. I mean, it's not what it was meant to be. You clear it out and restart it. You could shut it down, but no. I mean, like that something like that's meant to learn. Is it it just didn't go the direction it was intended. I'm sorry. I just.
But the thing about that is, were you about to put the electric slide? Is that what you're about to do?
No,
What
I
you about to
wasn't. But like, it's to this point
okay.
where like I can't zoom in on
It's electric.
because I don't have that setting. But if I could.
Shut up. Brow's drunk, and he's continuing to drink.
He needs some milk.
No milk. I'll throw up.
But yeah, sometimes you try to build something, it doesn't go the right direction, and if you don't want to run it, then don't run it. Close it. You got the power to close it. Close it. If if it's holding no positive influence now, close it. But I mean, so you open up a group with the goal of learning, right?
The goal of learning, sharing information, sharing what you like, what you don't like, talking about firearms, and safety rules, and what firearms are known to jam versus not, that type of thing.
Have you learned anything?
I have learned some things. I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong.
Do you
still
think?
learning.
Do you
It's
think
just-
that is? Did you learn anything from that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you
I
still
did.
learning anything from that?
No, because no one's talking. No one's providing.
Is it useful
information.
anymore?
Well, it can be if people.
Is it?
So here's what. Right now, no. The answer
you're
is no.
you're not gonna turn anything around. It's served its purpose. You can close it. And if you want to retry, by all means, retry and restart from what you want. But what you have there is not going to be helpful unless you want to take certain parts of that and bring them back in. If you have those things, do it. Restart or end and restart later, or leave it and try to drag more in and influence more discussion. But honestly, with that, you're not going to influence more discussion because it's lost its intrigue. It has nothing to it. And honestly, the algorithms probably have it kicked aside anyways.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say it like this and put it out here. It's the fact that you guys. It's the fact that people don't want to communicate anymore because somebody's afraid of putting out the wrong answer or getting into an argument over the internet, which leads into a bad taste of blood.
And that's going to happen with that subject matter.
Well, right, but we should all know that we're just in the group to where we shouldn't take it to the level of personal. We should take it to the level of that's just what it is, right?
But we understand each other on a personal level. That's a larger group that's been put together by very different people.
It's a larger group and put. Okay, all right.
A lot of the invites came from somebody quite a bit different that just wanted to fucking share memes.
I will shut it down. The issue is just that it's a shame because once again, it's another social media thing that people don't want to communicate on,
right?
And don't want to have a relationship. You're not building relationships, when you don't communicate through the fucking app, right? We're building relationships because we're all talking shit right now, right?
So what happened was you tried to put together a group on social media, a group for people to communicate and discuss firearms on all levels, and it was. I don't even want to say hijacked. It was just taken a different direction, and it just was turned into something that it shouldn't have been, because somebody thought it was more entertaining to just repost stupid shit over and over and over, and then that's all that was expected of it. There was no interaction that was actually expected. Now there are plenty of social media groups and things like that where interaction is what makes the group what it is, and it's suggested, it's not required, but it's encouraged, and even whenever things may not fit the mold, it's continued to be encouraged. So that's what you need. You need to encourage different ideas, different things, encourage people to post and not feel negative about what they're posting. Not just, honestly, if I want to join a fucking meme page, I will. You don't want memes. That's it. So when you build a group like that, that's what it is.
I'll look into it and see about shutting it down or rebooting it or whatever. I just think that it's a shame that it went to that way, because we all could have learned from it, and we all could have because you guys are much more knowledgeable.
I understand.
Spur and Brown are much more knowledgeable in the firearms department than I am. I've only been in it, the last 8 years? You guys have been in it for most of your lives. I haven't. You know what I'm saying? So there's still things I don't know and understand. However, it's just it just would have been helpful had other people would have been able to express their knowledge as well. That's all. Because other people could have learned from that and been more inspired to want to get into that and not be so afraid of it. And
rebuilding something like that. What I would suggest doing: create a new group, create an invite for those that are interested in joining. Say, hey, here's a group. It's not a meme group. We're actually going to discuss stuff, and then allow whoever wants to join if they want to. If not, give it, a week, 2 week, a month, whatever. End it. Now you've got another group. If people want to join, they can. If they want to discuss things, they can. Or if they want to observe, they can. That's perfectly fine. But got to change some rules around. It's not a meme group. Because once a group becomes a meme group, it changes it. If it's about discussions, you lose all good discussions with memes. Memes in response to things, that's different. Having some fun, have some fun with the discussion. Don't disregard that. But that's kind of where
don't kill it.
Yeah.
Don't kill it with a meme. It's what you're saying.
And you don't want to flood people's information with memes. They get posts. There's an algorithm that tells them what they want to look at, and they're going to look at what Facebook tells them they want to look at. So if, every once in a while there's something that comes up here, if every 10 minutes there's a meme coming up, they're not going to look at it anymore. This is straight past. So, and I think that's probably what should be done.
Speaking of other news, Brown, you okay, man? You gonna make it?
I'm good. I'm just shrunken. Yeah. Hey, if we're gonna go, because that sound made me think of movies. Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun. Yeah.
Phenomenal movie.
We were planning to see it we were planning on eventually getting to the movies and seeing it.
That is such a great movie.
You let me know when you gonna do that. You let me know when you're doing that.
Okay.
Top Gun Maverick is amazing just because the fact that they had the actors were in the airplanes when those tricks were being made. Minus, of course, the stunts that were way too dangerous for someone to actually fucking do in those planes. That movie is phenomenal. I've seen it. Love that movie.
So you really like Tom Cruise in that movie?
It wasn't even Tom Cruise in that movie. I mean, it was all the other actors. There was an actress in there. She is gorgeous. I don't remember her name. Gorgeous woman. I'm gonna have to pull it up on here. IMDb. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh shit! There's a Top Gun, or there's a John Wick.
Watch it be like
a Top Gun John Wick crossover. I've seen a John Wick movie, by the way. Amber Heard.
Watch it be Amber Heard.
Oh, that's that one chick. It's the Donnie
That
Jepp.
dumbass bitch.
Is that Donnie Jepp's ex-wife?
No, I'm talking about the actress Monica Barbara. She plays Barbara. She plays Phoenix in the movie.
What's her name?
Gorgeous.
Really?
Oh
Monica
my god,
Barbara?
gorgeous woman. BARBARO. Is her in the last
Italian?
name?
Yeah, I see her.
Oh, she is.
Oh yeah, Top Gun.
She is just stunning in that movie. Just absolutely stunning.
Monica
looks young.
Yeah, she's a year younger than myself. Absolutely gorgeous young lady. In that movie, she plays a character known as Phoenix. She is awesome. Oh my god! Not even just herself, but the whole movie itself is amazing. Like I said, all the action sequences. I would love to hit it. Oh my god! You kidding me? If she said, "Hey, you get to hit it," I would be like, "Yes."
Once again,
sound more play. We're just gonna keep covering each other here.
I don't do Pornhub no more. I've got other shit for that.
E-porn?
No. You use your hand now, right?
Use my hand. Need to. When the strippers aren't available, I use my hand.
Oh man.
Lockhart, you got any further? Brow, did you have any? Oh, yeah, that's we did it. Brow, did you have any games you had beforehand? Before you got drunk and forgot about it?
Real quick. I can pull one up real quick.
Oh,
yeah,
you know what?
This is like having a conversation with the drunk guy at the bar. I don't know.
So video games. Modern Warfare 2 is coming out.
I'm so fucking done with first-person shooters. So fucking done.
Are you serious?
No, I mean,
wow.
Okay, so I really enjoyed the original Modern Warfare. That was a lot of fun. I think I jumped into that before I jumped into it with you guys. Like this is fucking fun, and like the Call of Duties, like for a couple games after that were good, and they were just a downfall. They were just a downfall after that. And then I tried. Amazing. I tried getting into them long after that. I just couldn't. And I don't know if it's because, shitty players or what. People who play it way too often could be it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and constantly fucking play that shit. But I couldn't get back into it. Even the Battlefields. There's some Battlefields that were good. I honestly, like, a Bad Company in 1943 were fucking phenomenal for their time. But
yes, they were.
Like, as they continued on, the only thing that drove me nuts was the tornado that spun the wrong direction.
Well, okay.
No,
so
but like
Battlefield implementing the whole Battlefield scene, or Battlefield Destruction, whatever the hell they called it, was kind of dumb. I agree with you on that. With the whole tornado spinning the wrong direction.
Well,
I agree with you.
I don't give a shit about the direction it spins, but just the fact there were so few maps and shit like that. Just really fuck shit up. There was no diversity to the play style of the game. If you want to play I want to play fucking team deathmatch. I'm not really interested in much more. I like back in the early days of the COD games, you had a fuck ton of maps. Things changed up a little bit. You had some, maps were good all around. You had maps that were good for snipers and for running gunners and shit like that. But it seems to have gone away with them trying to critique everything. I'm just not interested in first-person shooters like I was before.
So excited for them in the next Modern Warfare, just because it continues the story. And I get it. If you have the Battlefield Pacific or whatever the hell they called the Vanguard, if you have the Vanguard, it expanded the story. But that's only in Warzone. I'm talking about just the Battlefield Modern Warfare story.
Hold on. So with that, to expand that story, we buy a game and then we pay extra for the other shit. So what are we paying in the end? We being microtransaction to death?
Well, if you're going to buy into the whole Warzone, a.k.a. What the hell is that stupid kitty ass game that everybody likes? I mean, whatever it is, Warzone. Then yes, you will be nitpicking to death because that's the money maker right now. But as far as playing, team deathmatch and using modern day weapons, I like that. I like playing that. The biggest thing about the game that gets a downer is when you could be shooting somebody 8 times and they can be shooting you twice, and then they overpower you somehow and they win the gun battle. That's what gets annoying when it keeps happening.
I think that's an issue
over and over and over.
I think that's an issue of connection and lag and shit like that.
But that seems to happen no matter where you are. It seems to happen no matter where you are.
That's gun balance.
That's a balance
issue.
in gaming style and things like that. There's so much that can be brought into that. But I've kind of lost my love for that gaming style just because it's been you're beating a dead horse at this time. That's my beating.
But here's why I don't understand.
I'm missing that. I mean, I haven't played a first-person shooter really since Battlefield 2042, which I thought was a terrible. I mean, you guys have seen, EA and ourselves have seen how terrible a launch can be with Battlefield 4, with Battlefield Hardline. You have all these games that they have experience with of server issues and all these other kinds of stupid fucking issues. And EA has been like, hey, we're going to release this game and we're not going to do any fixes for it like we should do before we release the game.
That's EA, though. That's what they've become.
There's too many large titles. Yeah, there's too many large titles. Like the current Battlefield 2042, the way you could have fixed all your issues, have more of a selection for weapons than what you had at release.
Yeah, they milk it. And honestly, not even that, but the biggest issue with EA is pay to play. There's so much you can pay for that gives you an advantage or gives you more. That it's that ruins it. Because you know what we paid. We grew up paying for the game we were gonna play, and that's what we got. And then there comes the extras, and okay, the extras are cool. And as much shit as there is to give to Rockstar for not creating a new fucking game or not adding shit to the game. I did the latest news is they are not going to continue updating Red Dead, which is a pretty fucking good game. But I understand why they're not going to continue.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, I got you. No, but I understand why they're doing it.
On Grand Theft Auto 6, which is in Vice City.
So you've got that, but at least with everything they've done, you don't have to pay for shit. You pay the base, you buy the game for your system, and you don't pay for shit else. But if you want to, you can. That's where the genius is. If you want to, you can. Or you can grind like a motherfucker and get what you want.
The problem is that you do grind as like you just said, and then you get all this money, and then you got all ready to go because you're expecting a new update to come out, so you can get ahead of it and be ready to play and do that. Now, since they're no longer updating in Red Dead, for example,
Red Dead's not updating. They've announced that. They've made it clear.
Right, but my point to that is I have money and shit in that game that I won't be able to fucking use for anything new, because that was the whole point of it.
You know what? Is it a lot? Just spend it where you want it. Now you know that there's not going to be more, so buy what you want. Now GTA, they're continuing to work with, and they're continuing all their bonus systems and everything else. And now that, us as a group, we've got our fourth back in, we can continue with GTA as we want. Well, we can continue with fucking Red Dead. I'm down to play that. I don't give a fuck. We haven't played through everything. And you know what? Now we haven't played through everything. You can get what you want, and we can,
there's an update for GTA Online coming out soon, where it's like Criminal Mastermind, I think is what it's called.
Another one.
And the reason they're doing that is because there's so many people that pay for the GTA Online experience compared to the Red Dead experience, which Red Dead was so great, but because you didn't get any Rockstar support with it, people aren't going to play it. And that's why GTA's...
Well, part of the thing is you fucking... It takes you almost half a 5 minutes or 5 minutes in general to get to one town to the next. In Red Dead, it takes forever to get to another town because you're riding horseback and the shit sucks. So, the hell? Okay. Alrighty.
Don't worry about it. Just carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, I think I should worry about that.
Anyway. You're right. That statement is correct. Drunky Brow is drunky.
Anyway, Wow. This bitch. Okay, so anyway, I just think that it's really fucked up though that when it comes to riding or when it comes to that game, you work super hard to get everything up, and nothing's really cheap in that game. So you build all this money, you get all this gold, and now you're waiting on them to send out another update so you can have roles, right? Or new roles, right? And now they're saying they don't want to do anything else to it. It's like the game's a full dead stop now because there's no reason for it to breathe. It's not,
and that's true. But at least they've said it. Over. At least they've said it. Honestly, the strongest points to Red Dead was its single player. Its multiplayer, it was fun. It had plenty of fun points, and they continued to add things to it. But it came to an end. One thing that happened with GTA is they kept going and going and going and going and going and milking and milking and milking and milking. And you've said it over and over.
Well,
and it's time for them to carry on to something else. Now they are continuing to leave a team working on that because they know they can milk more money out of it while they build another. This
should have been happening.
This is marketing.
That was
it should have, but this is marketing genius. They came up with their reasons why they didn't, which we're talking about fucking bullshit, anyways. But
talking about a game that 2013.
Yeah,
that game came out in 2013.
Not disagreeing with you at all, but they milked the fuck out of it, and they're going to continue to milk it until they release another. And honestly, I have fun playing with you guys. I have fun jumping on playing whenever, just like with Red Dead. But also, playing, through the 5M servers, the custom shit, I'm doing that too. And that's actually, honestly, the roleplay and the 5M shit, that's when everything's really light up. And honestly, it's something that... when it comes to the game modification, 5M shit like that, Red M with Red Dead, Rockstar fails to realize that those are actually supporting their game. The people who do those role plays and things like that love their game, and they build on it, and they modify it, and they don't like that. And a lot of them don't realize whenever you do that, you still pay for the game. You're paying for the base game, and you're modifying and you're continuing to use it. And you're encouraging others to use it. Therefore, you're encouraging others to buy that game. Because guess what? You're not going to play those games unless you buy them. So,
well, yeah,
that's
it's still fucked up.
No. I mean that's no. It's fucked up either. It's always going to seem fucked up because they drew that out way longer than they needed to. I mean, was it Rocket Boy Gaming that took over? Rocket Boy Gaming that was created by one of the owners of Rockstar. I'm interested in seeing what that builds, but it could be years away. So until then, let's just go ahead and check out, the next GTA series. I guess GTA 6. I'll take a fucking week off work just to play it.
I won't. I'll play it. I'll play it, and it'll at least give me something to play for a long while. Because I'll play it like Final Fantasy. I'll be able to when I'm bored.
How far have you gotten with Red Dead single player?
I didn't even get a chance to the story.
You haven't even left the north. You haven't even left the north.
No.
Take some time, try it, and just play the story through. The story's not even that long. Have some fun with it. I think you'd enjoy it. One thing that Rockstar's continued to do is had great storylines. They've had some really good online gameplay, but the storyline is where it lies. Honestly, GTA 5 was not my favorite online play. GTA 4 was. And it's more or less because of the deathmatch options that it had. You had team deathmatch on a certain grid. Now with GTA 5, GTA 5, you have they'll try to create team deathmatch within a certain area. They'll try to create it within like a certain area of the map or whatever. Like, here's.
Poor Brown. Brown's just so drunk he can't even sit still.
They'll create no shit. They'll create a certain So TD will be with it's a prison. You're in team deathmatch in the prison. Okay, so you've got that. Now in GTA 4, it's like you've got 15 blocks to have this deathmatch. Well, you can grab a car, you can do whatever. Now, if you're flying towards somebody, they better fucking shoot you out of your car before you hit them, otherwise they're dead. I loved being able to grab a car and fuck people up with that, grab the weapons that are laying around on different streets. But they really clamped it down to kind of like areas such as what you'd have with first-person shooters. You have the retirement home or the apartment complex and shit like that. But you don't have cars actually driving around and shit.
That dream I had a dream that I was with Spur here and we were in GTA world and we were getting away from somebody who was chasing us, and we managed to get away. And I looked 1 minute toward at Spur, and he was like, "Yep, we got away good." And then I looked away, and I happened to look back, and he's jumping out of the car, and I finally looked forward, and the car just crashes right into a goddamn building, and boom!
That sounds just like us actually playing GTA.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That sounds like exactly something I do, though.
I woke up and I was like, what the fuck?
How do we get in the GTA subject? Were we talking about a different game?
We were just talking about games in general and the fact that Rockstar was the fact that they did that to Red Dead and how the money that I have on the game is now pretty much wasted because they are no longer updating shit. So, which brings me to my next thing about video game world. That pirate game looks interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, just pulling up Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by Ubisoft Singapore and published by Ubisoft. The game is set to release in November 2022. for Windows, PlayStation 5, Stadia, and Xbox Series X and Series S, obviously. Game revolves around piracy and naval warfare. And I was told, you know, let it release and you know, see reviews on it, see how it is. I'm interested because you can group together with different people. And from what I understand, what I've looked at, you'll have different people playing together with different ships. Say, I have this type of ship, you have that type. I have a cargo ship, you have a battleship. You know, that type of thing. So you can work together to get things done. You can work solo, but you can work together. You know, a group of like, you know, 4 people or so, you can actually really get shit rolling. I think it'd be kind of fun. I would probably fall back into role-playing shit and trying to, you know, troll other players, but, you know.
Well, it gives us something to do, a goal that we have to accomplish, instead of just killing each other.
And
which
honestly,
is what you're trying to get away from.
I kind of, you know, Ubisoft is known for Assassin's Creed. So I kind of want to look at it as that. I want to look at something that's like Assassin's Creed, but multiplayer. So something like that could be cool, because Assassin's Creed has moved away from stealthiness and moved into other styles of gaming, more RPG. And when you move towards RPG, you move towards something like something.
Wait,
you can
really?
do multiplayer.
Like more action based?
Yeah. Like with let's see, we went to Odyssey. Odyssey was more action based. It moved away from. You can always use stealthiness. I like in those single player. I like using stealthiness and taking my time because it's easier. And you can be more calculated. And then with what was the most recent one? Valhalla, same thing. But I mean, it's Vikings. You raid villages. That's part of the game. So it kind of forces you into action based. So that was fun too. That's still a game I have not completed Valhalla, but I have the ultimate.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the stealth. The stealth is annoying to me.
In Valhalla, you can raid like a motherfucker. You don't have to go through the stealthiness in most situations. There may be some that call for it, but in most situations, you just get a raid. The issue I have with Valhalla is it takes a lot of time and seems like you have to go out of your way to level up. It kind of bugs me a little bit, but it's overall.
What about Unity?
That's an older one. I honestly, Unity was more of a multiplayer based thing that wanted stealthiness. It did not work. Multiplayer and stealthiness does not work that great. You have some games where you know you're trying to be stealthy, like the first person shooters. They've got their points, and you work that out.
You know what?
Even GTA, you have stealthiness points.
You know what game was horrible for that was that Tom Clancy game that we played. Tom Clancy, I want to say it was Stealth. No, that was not Stealth.
It was. I know what you're talking about.
Siege.
Oh, Siege. I was not a fan of
Yeah.
Siege because Siege didn't have a lot of stealthiness. It was a lot of just breaking walls and shooting through walls and shit. That's what drove me nuts.
Well, hold on. The issue was when I say
Older
that was you had a plan and nobody wanted to follow the plan.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because all those Tom Clancy games, all you had to do was follow a plan, right? And that's pretty much it, except for the Wildlands, which we stopped playing that because I don't know why. I guess we just gave up on Wildlands.
I wasn't a big fan of it. I know that's why I kind of stopped. I backed off. I wasn't leveling up. Yeah, it was kind of like one of those things where you would.
Because
I had no interest in playing on my own, and therefore stopped leveling up, and yeah, that was it for me. It was RPG style, and I guess if I stuck to areas I wanted to go after, I could. I mean, you could compare that to any RPG style game.
You don't like RPG games, but I do. I like, but I only like it in Final Fantasy way, like Final Fantasy RPG.
Well, maybe Skull and Bones might be a good option then, because it sounds like.
I'm going to give it a try anyway. I'm going to give that a try.
Really start on it then. I mean, there's not. It comes to that point where there's not a whole lot of games coming out that you want to jump at. Skull and Bones. If that's something you want to jump at, I'd probably be willing to say, hey, let's go ahead and give it a try. and go after it.
Yeah, I'm already ready for that. So
okay,
yeah,
be fun because it does sound RPG-ish and you know.
I'm gonna say this though, and then people are gonna be surprised when they hear me because they're gonna see there's me on here, Lockhart, aka Pokemon friend. Pokemon's starting to get on my fucking nerves. Okay, the last couple Pokemons. That's fine. You don't have to be. The last Pokemon games, if I saw Pokemon, I was ready to just trash.
Oh, I can do that too.
Trash.
Mine has a bigger caliber.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. The point of it is, I want it dead. I want it dead. That's all I wanted. Okay, just die. Just fucking die.
That's a big magazine you have there.
Oh shit! I forgot to reload that. Anyway,
you cock on there.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't have enough cocks.
The point of that is,
I don't have any cocks. I just have a rack.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, my point to that is the last Pokemon games that I played were fucking watered down. Do not make another fucking portable game and getting called a new title with ugly ass Pokemon that I'm going to fucking go catch. That's bullshit. It was watered down Pokemon game. And you charged me $60 to play that. It was whack. Okay? Just saying, it's whack.
Yeah, it's just
in
whack,
fact,
yeah.
if you come out with another, this is the next thing. I have another Pokemon game that's on reserve. If this Pokemon game that comes out is whack, I'm done with Pokemon altogether. Fuck you guys.
I already am done with Pokemon.
I'm done.
I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you've been done since 2006.
I never played any of them, but I can tell you, while I was waiting for my wife to finish one, somebody got in the back of my car. 2 people got in the back of my car and asked for a ride down to the motel. And I told them, I'm not a fucking taxi. This may be a Crown Vic, but I'm not a fucking taxi.
Are you serious?
Yes.
They jumped in the back of your car?
Totally serious. Totally serious. Or in St. Charles, Main Street, I had 2 people. Like they walked up next to my car and like my windows were down. I was waiting for her. She was playing with, had some friends that she was playing with on whatever team she was on. So they're doing something and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. And she's like, okay, we'll go in a few minutes. And like 30 minutes later, I'm still sitting there like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep. Like, we done yet? And she's like, almost. And like, so 15 more minutes pass. And I'm like, oh, almost was like 45 minutes ago. So like some people walk up, there's plenty of bars down there. So a guy and a gal walk up next to the car like, oh, hey, are you a cab? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not yellow. I'm not checkered. It's white. It's a white Crown Vic. No, I'm not a taxi. Like, okay, great. And they get in the back seat. And quite honestly, a hand went to the gun next to the car. I'm like, and then I realized they're drunk.
I bet.
At that point, I realized they're drunk. So I'm not as concerned. More or less, I'm like, okay, I got 2 drunk asses behind me, and there's a gun sitting in the console. Like, yeah, we just need to ride down to wherever. I'm like, I'm not a taxi. Like, well, it's just down the street. I'm not a taxi. Oh, we're staying at this place. Get out of the car. And they like gave me this look like, you're gonna refuse a fare? Get out of the car.
What the fuck was that?
And they they got out of that car like so like insulted and just kept walking. And then somebody that was playing Pokemon with my wife goes, did that taxi just refuse a fare?
Wow. So hold on a second.
This is a white Crown Vic. This is just a white Crown Vic. That's it.
Well, right. Were they 2 white girls that jumped in the back of your car?
No. It's a white dude, white chick. But they were drunk as fuck.
Okay.
And honestly, like looking at it, I should have like told him to give me $30 and I'll drive you like literally down the street and I would have driven back.
I would have told them it's $100.
No, like I should have
$100
fucking taken their money. I should have taken their money.
That's why I'm saying you should have said it's $100.
Yeah, no, I should have definitely.
I would have.
Money. Anyways, we're talking about that game, so let's take a look.
Welcome to Skull and Bones. Our game takes place during the golden age of piracy, in a world inspired by the beautiful yet dangerous Indian Ocean. You'll start your journey as an outcast, whose goal is to become the most infamous pirate to sail these treacherous waters.
Survive, okay.
After surviving a shipwreck, you begin your adventure in St. Anne, one of the pirate dens in our world. Dens are centered...
Have you noticed something about this right here? I mean, I watched all the way through this. Have you watched all the way through this one?
I watched part of it. I'm not all the way through.
Okay.
So I'm glad it starts over with a black guy.
That's actually what I was going to bring out. That's what I like. Did you notice something about this? One thing that's actually of interest, a lot of pirates were escaped captives. This is actually legit information. Pirates were known for breaking free people who are about to be sold into slavery, and then they would actually join the pirate trade. So there was a lot of black pirates that people fail to realize, and there's a lot of misunderstood information. Like the skull and crossbones ended up that was derived from a Mason's symbol, and you can go real deep with this information, but it's kind of wild that all this, you have so much derived, like you have so many false narratives from this one idea of piracy, and what it ends up being is you have Freemasons, which were a group of Freemasons which were pirates, and you also have them down in Jamaica. Jamaica was a big, like what you're seeing here and what we're looking at in this thing. Jamaica was a big spot for pirates to stop and pick up people and to interact with others and to gain people and to drop people off. Because if you're grabbing a ship that's transporting people for trade, you're gonna stop there and you're gonna release the people. And guess what? The best job for them to get involved with is piracy. That's the best way to, make money or whatever. So that's very interesting. I actually really like that they're kind of, in a sense, spotlighting a black guy in their ad, because it was so common for that to be the case at the time. And I think, in your classic idea of pirates, you see like white guys with a wooden leg and a hooked arm. And that's your idea of a pirate. Right. And really, this is what.
Right. They're trying to fit a stereotype. Yeah.
Right. And honestly, like, piracy was a very diverse thing. It's all about making money. That's what it was. Nobody gave a shit who you were. Make money. I thought that was interesting.
Activity where you can craft new ships and equipment, provision for your expeditions at sea, pick up contracts, and socialize with other players.
Like more modern.
Any pirate worth their salt will tell you that preparation is
Assassin's
key
Creed
to
type
success.
shit.
Get ready for any challenges that come your way by checking that your cargo is stocked with items like food and ammunition. Once you're set, it's time to head out and explore. As a rookie pirate, you'll only have access to a small dhow, but as you progress, you'll be able to craft different ships, each with their own unique playstyle. At sea, you'll need to pay close attention to the condition of your ship and the morale of your crew. Your crew are a pack of vicious raiders and rovers who will mutiny against you if not kept well-fed and happy. If your ship sinks, you'll lose some progress and respawn at the nearest discovered den or outpost. The good news is that most of your cargo will be recovered, and you'll have the opportunity to retrieve the rest from the wreckage. But you'd better be quick, as other players can also steal it. As a pirate captain, your reputation is
Leveling up
everything,
RPG.
and our game tracks this through infamy. The higher your infamy, the more opportunities you'll get.
Level.
One of the many ways to grow your infamy is to take up contracts. These are deals that you can make with other pirates in the world. Contracts can have great rewards if you're successful, or costs if you fail. You can also gain infamy by completing other activities, such as exploration, plundering, treasure hunts, investigations, dynamic events, and much more. You can undertake these either solo or with other players. The world of Skull and Bones is filled with riches and resources that you'll be able to gather as you explore. Lagoons and rivers are teeming with dangerous wildlife that you can hunt for animal skins and meat. You'll also be able to harvest a variety of raw materials, such as ore and wood, that can be refined and used for crafting. Crafting is an essential activity for you to progress as an infamous pirate. Obtain blueprints and use your refined resources to craft stronger ships, weapons, and armors. In Skull and Bones, ships serve many different purposes. Cargo ships are slower, but useful if you need to transport large volumes of loot. Navigation ships sail faster, but have less cargo space and lower hull HP. Firepower ships have more gun ports.
Like right here, I
allowing
think
you
that's
to
where
deal
it's gonna
higher
come into,
damage,
you know,
but are more
to set up with
challenging
other
to maneuver. Similarly, you
other
can craft
players
a
and
wide
say, hey,
array of
let's
unique
go ahead and
weapons
select this
and
ship.
armors,
I'll
from
select this
Greek
ship. You
fires
select this
to
ship.
giant ballistae to rocket launchers and mortars, as well as different armor types, which have varying strengths and weaknesses against incoming attacks. With your new fleet and growing arsenal, create a loadout based on your personal playstyle to become a force of destruction. Out in the open ocean, opportunities and threats are abundant. Use your spyglass to identify lucrative trade routes or wealthy merchant ships and assess your prey's cargo and firepower. Strategize a plan of attack based on your opponent's defenses and take advantage of their weak points to
It's
deal
very
more
similar to the
damage.
more recent Assassin's Creed
Sinking
games.
your foes from afar rewards you
Sinking
with
ships
only a
and that type of
portion
thing.
of their cargo, as some of it will be lost to the depths. Getting in close to execute a boarding maneuver will help maximize your gains. But beware, you can turn from predator to prey in a heartbeat if you attract the unwanted attention of privateers, the merciless pirate hunters that patrol the seas. If you enjoy the thrill of the hunt, you can also seek out other players and rain terror on them. Such PvP battles are high-stakes activities that can be rewarding if you emerge victorious. From your spoils of battle, personalize your individual look with outfits that command
Confused for a minute there.
respect.
So I get-
I figured it'd be right.
You can also select from a multitude of ship customization options to instill fear in your enemies.
So I mean, I think we've got enough information from that, really. You know,
Right.
to see what's up with that. And child making fussy noises. She's all right though. But yeah, I'm pretty deeply interested in that. It's different. It's different playing style. It's very different in multiple different ways. So I'm interested. And yeah, I mean that's enough for me, really. Right, that's what makes new games fun.
I just hope it's not going to be a disappointment. We don't need another disappointment.
Honestly, there's been so many disappointments lately. You know, which is
Well,
why
that's because
you always end up turning
COVID
back to the old.
Well, that's because COVID has watered down the quality of shit. And so now we're living in the backlash of that shit right now.
Yeah, maybe
and
yes,
that's why
maybe
I'm telling
no.
you.
I think a lot of it's
so.
creativity based. It's like, okay, are we running out of ideas? And that's where you keep going back to role play shit. And when you've got so many people, so many small people, minuscule people working together and just rolling with whatever they're having fun with. That's why I have fun with role playing in things like 5M, GTA. It's just fun. So that's what I end up doing. There's always something new, always something different. You never have the same thing happen over and over. And that's the beauty of multiplayer, really, in general. And something like this, where you might have multiplayer interactions, you might have single player interactions, but they may vary a little bit. In an open environment, that tends to happen. So, that's a good thing. So hopefully it brings something good. I mean, this is a big holler out to Ubisoft. I hope this is as good as it looks. It looks fun. And, we're probably going to dive into it and see what happens. I look forward to something different, something fun. Maybe, try to shoot for, once or twice a week for a little bit to try to, knock this out. Try to play some. I still got to keep my my other shit rolling. I've got my Twitch stream to keep up with on. That's definitely something that I want to do. I know you've got other podcasts you want to do other nights as well. So, I mean, you've got me over at Agent Wabbit on Twitch. We've got you on Subject to Change on how many different platforms?
At least 5 of them.
Yeah. I mean, which ones?
At least 5 different ones. Spotify, Google, Apple, Pandora, iHeartRadio. I think it's called Stitch.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Right. Well, that's 6. Yep. So there you go. At least 6. I mean, yeah. I mean, we've all got our things, but like, there's this kind of always that thing we want to go to when we don't want to jump out in that other shit. This is something we don't have to be creative during. We just have to have fun during, and that's kind of like why I'm all about it. I want to shut down the brain for a little bit and just have fun. And I mean, podcasting means working the brain. RPing on Twitch means working the brain. Interacting with the public means working the brain.
Right. We need something to let loose.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of what we're looking for. So yeah, I mean, that's all I've got right now. I've got nothing else. Going to close that window. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, you got anything else before the end of this?
Not really. I mean, it's Subject to Change. Like I said, we'll be starting season 4 there, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think I've been checking it out on Google, right?
You can check it out on Google. Yes, Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts as well. Those are the 2 main ones. And Spotify also. That's a main one too, because a lot of people use Spotify.
Yep. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've listened to a couple episodes at length, in my free time.
Okay.
So it's been good. It's been interesting. I've enjoyed it, honestly. So there's that. Got me over on Twitch, Agent Wabbit, AgentWabbit, as it sounds. You're gonna see what one of 2 things. You're gonna see GTA roleplay, or you're gonna see some flight simulator. And I have recently switched over to VR, so that's been a little different, a little bit choppier from time to time. But
it still plays good.
It's fucking wild to do. It's really wild. I've actually I veered away from the controller and I went to the actual Oculus controllers. Now you see in game when I'm doing like whatever, manipulating with my hands, but this is actually what I'm doing. I'm grabbing things with my hands and adjusting them. That includes throttle, and braking, and everything else in there, as much as I can. The one break free I've used is I actually have been steering with the stick You can actually grab the stick or grab the yoke and adjust it. I've been doing it without. It's just easier to control with that. And I've had a blast with it. The VR experience is fucking wild. Just because you're looking around in the scene environment and sometimes that you're familiar with. So it's really cool. So I'm having fun with that. GTA is on hold for a little bit until I get past a certain point. I want to get through some field training for police, and then I'll start streaming as a GTA roleplay police officer. Definitely going to be fun. It's a quick growing server. A lot of people switching over to that server from other popular servers for whatever reasons they have. But those that are doing that understand like it's a commitment they're making. They're spending their time at that server training, making sure they're doing it right there before they go to the, because it's very intense. It's very involved. I think it'll be fun for me, and I think it'll be fun for viewers just to watch. So that's what I'm working on.
I'll be watching.
Oh, that's, I think you're gonna enjoy that because honestly, I try to. Some people get very involved in the role play, and sometimes you have to get your role play involved because you have more serious crimes you have to involve yourself with, and you have to write reports and all that. And that, in my opinion, as big as the crimes are and as entertaining as they are, the response you have to take to them has to be involved. And sometimes, as a viewer, that becomes a little bit slow to you, a little bit less interesting. I like to involve myself in the more common interactions with people that are role players, and there's multiple reasons that, because I know interacting with individuals is important to their role play. I know that it is increasing my role play, and more or less it's creating small situations. I stopped you for speeding, I stopped you for running a red light, things like that, which create a way for a reason for you to give an excuse or, you know, talk about what's going on. And people spend a lot of time creating a character and creating a backstory. And if they can go through their backstory with me, that's an improvement to their role play. It's an improvement to my role play, and I'm going to respond appropriately. Yeah, as opposed to somebody who's shitlording, as we like to call it. And, you know, it could be just, you know, driving like an asshole down sidewalks, downstairs, shit like that. And just trying to get attention just to interact with the police. And that's more of a negative thing. But you're going to see a lot of different things. And I like to involve myself with a lot of people who try to spend a lot of time to create their character, at least create a character who is very interactive. And even some people who shit a little bit.
The good thing about your stuff is that it's improv. It's
very
improv.
Much so. Very much so.
And so it reminds me a lot like our show, Subject to Change, when it comes to the comedy part of it, aspect of it. It's improv. So it's going to be interesting to see how you, as an officer, react or respond to some of these characters when they act goofy or when they don't behave.
And that creates a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it really does.
Right.
Yeah. So and then, I mean, you end up getting a result. Different times the results can be different. So, you know, working on it, we're getting there. Want to make sure I'm up to the standards of the server. So and that's definitely something that we want to be part of. When the server sets its standards for reasons, and you want to be up to the standards of the server owners, the server managers, and the other people playing on the server. It's not a one-point thing. There's not a single person you want to get within the standards of. You want to try to meet the standards of everybody, and it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. We've got the GPU to handle it now. Everything's running fucking beautifully. The stream is running good. My end is running good. Everything's reacting appropriately. The UI user interface is working properly. It's up to speed. Everything is beautiful. I'm running the RTX 3070 Ti, damn near a 3080, which is all I need. It's a fucking old game. So the next time I need to replace that GPU is going to be far down the line when I'm going to need another machine. Not even worried about it. We're in good shape now. We're in good shape for this. We're in good shape for that. I'm happy as a fucking clam. So good to go. Looking forward to what the future there has to hold. It's going to be some flight sim until I decide to open the gates to the GTA RP world from the cop point of view. And you've got Subject to Change, which is just continuing. And we look forward to that. That's. I'm glad that you. I didn't know you were becoming a fan of that. That's actually pretty. Anytime I see one come up, I try to listen to it. I don't always get to listen to all of them, but I try to listen to them. Sure. And it's not empty. There's a lot, a lot of information to go through. There's a lot of good narrative to go along with everything. Right. And hopefully we keep it going as long as we can. And I can't wait for the day when we actually do the crossover, when we do the people making statements with Subject to Change. When we do the crossover, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be real interesting. Yeah, I think the studio's looking to be closer to build. Good. Here down the line. So I'm looking forward to that. Get down to that area, and that'll improve everything. That'll improve this. It'll improve the RP. And if you guys can use it, and even some of the local politics around here, I think we'll see some improvement on some political things that'll be coming up down the line. I doubt that's gonna become. I don't think it'll become coming into play much on this or on Twitch, but it'll be more or less something interesting with sharing the studio and working on something else. And maybe I will share, a link here and there, but that'll probably be the most we see from that. But yeah, that's it. Sure. You got anything else? I don't have anything else. Brown, you got anything? Nope, he's fucking passed the fuck out. I think we both know that. All right, man. You better be able to figure. You better be able to end this, right? Hey, man. End it, right? Humankind. Be kind to others. I was fuck. No, god damn it. Humankind, be both, right? Oh, that's right. Be both. That's right. Shit. All right. All right. That's gonna be it then. Oops. All right. Good night. Where's my stop button? Yep. There's my stop button. Good night, everybody. Humankind, as he said it. Come on, say it again. Be both.